This relationship catch-up episode, we'll be discussing being in a committed relationship and then making friends with the opposite sex. But first, don't forget to subscribe for more advice on relationships. So let's say that you are in a committed relationship with somebody and you develop a friendship with somebody who's of the opposite sex. And so you want to be careful here because you don't want your partner to start feeling uncomfortable about your friendship. I'm not saying that you can't make friends with anybody you want, but especially if this friendship becomes pretty close, maybe you work with them and you see them every day, or maybe you go hang out with them one-on-one or spend a lot of time with them. It can make your partner uncomfortable, jealous even, and they may not understand why suddenly you're BFFs with, a guy or a girl or whatever, the case is. So, just be careful when you're doing things like that because you don't want to send the wrong message to your partner. And definitely talk with your partner and find out, their concerns, if they're upset with it, and you do have to take in their feelings and consider how your new relationship might affect your current relationship. It's a different case if, say, maybe before you started dating somebody, you had close relationships with people of the opposite sex, because then they kind of come into a relationship with you knowing that you just have these close relationships, but they're never going to evolve into something more. But if you're already in a committed relationship and then you start hanging out with somebody of the opposite sex, it can kind of put a strain on your relationship. So you want to be careful of that. And you also want to think and reflect on yourself and say, well, why do I feel the need to become best friends with somebody of the opposite sex? Do I find them attractive? Do I feel like I need more attention from the opposite sex? All that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that you're not going down this path where you're going to put yourself in a predicament where you might end up falling in love with the other person. So just things to consider and be careful of when you're in committed relationships and making new friendships.